So I kind of want to talk about something that we don't really talk about as videographers. It seems like a lot of us actually tend to prefer not to talk about it, and it's audio. And no, I'm not talking about sound design or lens distortions and all the epic effects that you can add in there. And honestly, I'm probably not the person to talk about sound design. But what I do know a lot about is the miking side and what goes into making it sound good. And the number one thing that we never consider is the room, the acoustics, the environment you shoot in. We spend so much time looking at the good light, trying to find the banger light for prep, makeup, voiceovers, letters, all this stuff. We never really consider how does it affect the way these sound. And I'm not using anything spectacular. I'm using a Rode Wireless Go with probably a Tascam mic for all I know. I have like 4 or 5 lavs that I have sitting around that I've gotten through the years, purchasing stuff, and at this point it just becomes a backup to other things, you know. And we don't talk about audio. And I decided we probably should, at least about the things that actually make a huge difference. Because you know you can't go back and artificially relight something. Like once you shoot it, that's it. That light, the quality of the light that you get is what you get. Color grading can fix it, can make it look a little better, and sometimes you have happy accidents. Audio is a little trickier because we're not used to listening to that kind of thing. In fact, the room that I'm sitting in right now has a resonance. It has a echo. Everywhere you walk into is never really silent. It has its own tone, its own freak of nature resonance that in some cases could work really well and work against you. Or in your case, our clients. Some people have really low voices, they have really high voices. And unfortunately, in some cases, some of them just hit the right frequency in the room and you listen back to your audio and it's like, man, this sounds like crap. Let me explain. I'm standing in my closet and as you can tell, the audio sounds pretty different. It's actually really dead. These shirts, probably not these shoes, but everything in here is absorbing the sound. I haven't changed my mic positioning at all, and it sounds really different. The environment that you record in really affects your final product. Transition to the bathroom. Huge difference, different sound. Probably in most cases, not one that we would prefer. Now, I'm not saying that shooting in these environments is bad. All of it really comes down to intentionality. Is that what you're looking for? Is that what you're going for? Maybe you do want the room, maybe you don't. And sometimes it's not realistically possible or even aesthetically pleasing to record in a closet. And even though that is the best place for quiet audio. And in 2022, there's so much new gear that comes out. Everything's starting to have 32-bit float. The Zoom F3 that we don't know the pricing of is coming out. And let's be honest, that thing is actually pretty rad. Being as small as it is and having 2 channels, I would love to put my shotgun on there and just be able to roam the rest of the day with it and have super pristine audio all day long. But all of that doesn't really matter if we don't know where to place things, where to position things, where to put people in the room, or even just miking someone as basic as this. So my challenge is this. Rather than spending money on gear, trying to figure out the quick hack to make audio sound better, let's actually try and have an open discussion about how can we make audio better? What are those things that we actually don't understand? And a lot of it is acoustics. Acoustics is the light to sound. Those are the things that shape the room. So all that rambling to say, here's 3 things that I think could help you for your audio moving forward for the rest of the year for any of your wedding films. Number 1, shotgun mics. So this is a Sanken CS, well, that Canon autofocus. Maybe I should switch to Sony. Sanken CS2, great mic. I found this at Guitar Center for $650. Great hack, go to Guitar Center and just stock the crap out of it. People at Guitar Center don't know video gear, so they are gonna discount it severely because they don't know Sanken. Sanken is not a well-known name in the audio world of pro AV for touring musicians and stuff. That's more on the video side. Tip number 2, different lavaliers. You probably own multiple different 50s, or you've had different 50s, 85s, different lenses, and they all look different, and you've ended up with the rig that you have for a reason. These lavaliers are the same. Each person has a certain tonality that they deliver, And certain mics actually might make someone sound better even though it sounds worse on something else. So keep those lavs in there, and if you have the time, check to see which one sounds better, where the placement might affect the tonality, and heck, place it upside down. That was a trick that Henry and I used for years with the sinking COS 11Ds, was placing them upside down. For whatever reason, it just sounded better, and from what my limited knowledge of that mic is built for, it was designed to be hidden, so it actually does better under clothing and hidden away because it naturally has a higher top end. So as you layer it with clothing, it'll compensate for the covering and actually sound a lot more natural in those situations rather than having it out and open. And the last one, kind of pricey, but it's RX Izotope, or Izotope RX, the professional one. RX Izotope is a game changer for me. I mean, you can even remove vocals from a track that might not be able to have an instrumental on it. Dialogue Isolate is just able to clean up stuff, de-reverb.
For you and to never leave your side. I vow to passionately love you and cherish you throughout our years. I vow to always put God first in our marriage. I love you for not only who you are, but for who I am when I'm with you. You've helped me become the person that I am today, which is the best.
So over the next few months, I'm really gonna try to hone in on audio for videographers. I think it's an overlooked subject, and I think we could be a lot better at it. And I plan on learning things along the way. And in fact, one of the things that I recently picked up on was psychoacoustics, and I'm not even gonna get into that in this video, but one of the things that I really wanna touch on is making sure that we're openly discussing why things are sounding the way they do and how we can make them better together. And in this next video, I'm really gonna talk about speakers, monitors, what you're hearing and how it affects your final product, and what can we do to actually get a better result without having to spend extra money. Or maybe you're wondering too, do I even need speakers? I've been mixing on headphones for the last 3 years. I don't really notice a difference. So feel free to just subscribe, comment on the video, let me know what you think. Maybe you hate it, maybe I'm completely wrong. Please, let's just be open and let's talk about it. But thanks for watching, and hope to see you guys soon.